So I've noticed something here on YouTube that others, like myself, like watching other people's journeys. You know, maybe somebody starting a business and we watch them from the beginning to how they grow their business, or growing a garden, you know, from planting the seeds to harvest. Weight loss videos are a big one. The weight loss journeys, I should say, you know, from fat to skinny, whatever. We like watching people along the way and how they do it and whether they progress or perhaps even fail. So yesterday, I had my very first real paid guitar lesson in over 30 years. It was like in person, or well, not in person, on Zoom, but a one-on-one lesson. And I'm gonna talk a little bit about that. So I took lessons for about a year when I first started playing guitar back in the late 80s. And, you know, I just learned some basics, how to hold the guitar, how to hold the pick, maybe a couple chord names. You know, like I said, just the basics, and that was certainly helpful. But after that, everything I learned came from tab books and just playing along with records. And I guess that kind of worked out well for me because I was fortunate enough to land this amazing career in music, playing heavy metal guitar for a living. But, you know, honestly, I've always, in the back of my mind, felt this little sense of inadequacy or even shame that I never learned the language. I don't know much at all about theory, chords, scales, and I've tried to buckle down a handful of times over the years, but I'd always just burn out. I'd get frustrated or lose focus and then give up, you know? Anyways, a few months ago, sometime within the last year, I'm just browsing YouTube one day, and suggested to me was this live stream video like we see from guitar players all the time, where they're just jamming, or in this case, this guy was just shredding along to a backing track, just shredding along, improvising, and it got my attention. I was like, whoa, this guy's incredible. And I'm sitting there, you know, watching with just a few other guys, 10 or 12 other guys in this room, and you know, the comments, everybody's saying, whoa. And I was moved. You know, it was like, I don't even know what kind of style, like a Guthrie Govan type style. What is that? Like, I don't know, fusion, jazz fusion, something like that. But his note choices just really connected with me, and I kept watching. So then over the coming months, this guy, who I'll tell you more about later, just started showing up in my feed more and more, and I'd tune into these live streams, and he was really doing cool stuff. And I'd noticed from time to time that he'd mentioned that he does private guitar lessons. And until then, I had never even really thought about taking lessons again. But then I started, you know, just started hearing it more and started thinking, man, I feel like I could learn something from this guy, and what could it possibly hurt to try and just go and learn some fresh things. I remember hearing back in the day that, was it Kirk Hammett? He took lessons from Joe Satriani or something like that. But anyways, he would eventually stop back in on tours every once in a while and get another lesson to brush up. And I hear pro guys doing that all the time, just taking lessons and everything. So, and I always thought that was cool. But again, I never really considered it. But no, I started considering it. And so we set one up. And I told him right off the bat that I just wanted to start learning the language. I needed to be broken down and just start from square one. And just simply that I needed to begin learning the basics. We started learning major scale theory, and what else? I wrote a couple of these things down. Stacking thirds, chord triad formulas, chords within that major scale, which was all new to me, but hey, we all have to start somewhere, right? So I know most people learn these things like early on in their guitar playing journeys, but I'm taking like an opposite approach here. I've been playing for 35 plus years, and now I'm finally gonna go back and learn about what it is I've actually been playing all this time. And again, how can that hurt? I hope that it will translate into everything I write and play in the future, you know, as I just gain a greater understanding of the fretboard and just music in general. I'm really excited. Oh, and I'm hoping that already having, you know, some technical ability and just a feel for the instrument will help me, you know, speed up this whole process a little bit. Fingers crossed. Anyway, the point of all this is that I'm starting on this journey, and I plan to talk about my progress throughout the process, and I'd love for you to come on in and follow along. Maybe it'll be just to laugh as I stumble through these basic concepts, or perhaps to inspire you to do or learn something that you've been meaning to tackle for a while. By the way, my new teacher is a guy named Lester Mitchell, and you can look him up here on YouTube. He's got a channel. He just hit 10,000 subs. It's awesome. Congrats. So people are paying attention, and rightfully so, because As I mentioned, he's a great player, and so far I really like him as a teacher. So I think it's gonna go well. And if you made it this far, I really appreciate it, and I hope you'll stick around for the rest of the journey. Please make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you know anytime my new videos drop. Thanks so much, guys. Cheers, and hope to see you on the next one. But wait, before I go, and for those that don't know, I wanted to mention that I have my own guitar instructional DVD available for purchase on my website. And you might be thinking, why would I buy a guitar instructional DVD from a guy who just said he's going to be taking guitar lessons? Well, that's certainly a valid question, but the thing is, I can riff with the best of them. I can solo, write, arrange, and a whole lot more. And I've taught loads of guitarists my style over the years, teaching the way I learned in my own way, using everyday language everyone can understand. But who buys DVDs these days, Rob? I don't even own a DVD player. I know, trust me. But I'll be honest and tell you that most people buy the DVD because of the 10 free custom guitar picks it arrives with. These things are sweet, and the only way to get them is by ordering my DVD from robarnoldworld.com/store. For only $24.99, it comes autographed and ships free anywhere on earth. I'll leave a link to my store in the description. I've also got a wonderful Patreon community that I'd love for you to join. We're all a bunch of music, Chimera, and heavy metal loving guys and girls who talk guitars, drums, amps, and music day in and day out. Members can all participate in my killer monthly giveaways. They have direct communication with me anytime. They get immediate access to my enormous guitar tab archive. They see my videos early, and so much more. Plus, I'm in the process of setting up exclusive Patreon group guitar lessons where everyone can interact, ask questions, request lesson topics, and more. And all of this is included with your membership, plain and simple. I hope you'll come over and join well over 100 amazing supporters by visiting patreon.com/robarnoldworld. You'll find a link in the description below. And finally, a big thanks goes out to all of my current supporters. Cheers, guys.